Have you ever been to a rave, David?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah? In Springfield?
No.
Where?
San Francisco.
Oh, see.
That's like a for reals one.
Suddenly nothing we talk about is
like
going to be...
like scary ones where like we went and they picked us up at the base of Haight and Ashbury, put us into a moving van, like a box truck.
They put you in the back of a U-Haul?
Yeah. And took us to an undisclosed location.
Took you to Tijuana and took your kidneys?
I'm surprised they didn't. But, yeah.
Because Kaila invited me to a rave, but I told her I don't like crowded places and loud music. So I don't think it would be my jam.
All you got to do is go and stick a pacifier in your mouth and bounce around and you'll be okay.
But she wants to open today's podcast with a conversation about it.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kaila,
Yes.
can you explain how you get invited to a rave?
Okay, well, I mean, you don't, honestly, you're not supposed to talk about it, though.
Yeah.
Like Fight Club.
Right.
It's all on the
This is
down
what
low.
I'm saying.
Mysterious
So
flyers
someone
that
like-
are handed out.
Someone
They tell
like
you to go to a certain location
Well, this one
and
doesn't.
then meet people and then you travel with them
Okay.
to, yeah.
So Kayla's super top secret rave. They don't tell you where it is. And then like at the last minute, right, you like find out through the grapevine and they're like, oh, you got to show up here
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like super top secret. Okay. This
Well, and they probably don't know
it
themselves.
might be because maybe they're somewhere they're not supposed to be or they don't want to get in trouble for the noise or whatever. But my theory is that they've actually filed all the paperwork with the city like 3 months in advance, forms in triplicate. They handed it into Helen at the city hall. They're like, here, we're going to be here on this day. And they're got their clicker at the door and they're making sure they don't exceed fire capacity and they're following all the rules. But then they make it seem like it's on the down low. So it seems really cool.
This sounds like Wayne's World 3.
There's a Wayne's World 3?
No.
Welcome back to more Artistry Unearthed. We are Cryptic Tattoo here in Springfield, Missouri. We are here with very special guest, one of Cryptic Tattoo's own, Kaila Machado. Hello.
Hi.
It's awesome to have you. You've been with us for a little while. It's been a long time coming. Thank you for actually like hanging out and sitting on the couch, getting in front of the camera with a microphone in your face. I know it's a lot to ask of some people. You've been pretty nervous about it, but you're doing great so far.
I'm trying.
Kaila, you've been working with us here at Cryptic for just over a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are originally from Southwest Missouri, but, right?
No.
No, you're not?
No.
Oh, okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Longmont, Colorado.
So you went Colorado, Missouri?
Uh-huh.
I skipped a hop.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I've hopped back and forth. So I was originally born in Longmont, Colorado, and then I moved out to Southwest Missouri when I was 10, and then I moved back when I was 20, and then I moved back here about 2-3 years ago.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And you have not always been in the art industry, right? But you've always been an artist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like my dad would bring home like butcher paper and I would like literally just draw on that all day long. So
So what were you in your former life?
I think I was a pirate.
Well, what she means is that
That's not what I meant, but that's the coolest
I mean, that's
answer.
great. Yeah.
No. Let's go back. Like everybody was a pirate now. Like so we had the
Damn, I forgot my patch.
it's DJ Jazzy Tats and Davy James Locker. Yeah. So
If you keep
I'm
getting
gonna
in
keep
fights
bringing
with
it back.
grilling tools, you're gonna have a hook.
I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it until it catches on. But what's interesting is easy for a lot of people to assume that tattoo artists and stuff we were all former convicts or current convicts, or always in trouble or whatever. But
No.
Or started tattooing at 17.
Oh, sure, right. Now, I
In a
mean, there's
kitchen,
always
yeah.
exceptions. I mean, not
There's a couple.
not a blanket statement, but like for a lot, those stories are pretty common for anybody on the outside. But we actually have the honor of being like, oh no, we were all like in some way very boring adult people.
Pretty clean.
I don't think it was
I-
boring.
I-
Well, I don't think. I don't know. Like,
David was in the back of a
it's
U-Haul
like
while we were being boring.
I can write a novel.
but I mean, yours is also 26 years ago, so almost 30 years. So I mean, but still, you didn't come out of prison to tattooing.
No.
I mean, you don't have a criminal record at all. Like,
No.
so just like me, I just didn't get caught.
Have
So-
you looked up David on CaseNet?
Yeah, I have.
Maybe
Yeah, I'm not. No, I'm not
We're
like
practically
Casey.
married
I haven't looked
as
up David.
as co-owners.
For
We're
real, yeah.
practically, but
Okay.
it's cool that I mean, each of us have very interesting, very like fancy, like oh dang kind of backgrounds that we left to do tattooing.
But you were doing some graphic design before tattooing, which
There
is
was a
not that.
there was
long
a
of job.
segue for me.
But yours was a little less conventional of a hop.
It was so in the very beginning, like I was a CNA, and then I went into 3D animation design, and then I went into being a machinist and specialized in EDM machining for a tool shop for a good portion. Actually, it was like 5.5 years I was a machinist, and but I'm not going to say like I have been clean like with my hands like my entire life. Like honestly, I feel like I got away clean with a lot of situations. Like when I was younger, before I had gotten into professions and stuff, I was also like
You were a little rebel soul.
I
No,
definitely-
no,
I was a hood
everybody
rat.
has those stories. But.
yeah.
No, but you were like doing engineer stuff, and
Yeah.
so it's not typical to see someone jump from there to tattooing. And so
Mhm.
I feel like when I talk to you about like tattoo machines, for example, there's stuff that you understand on a level where I'm just like pistons and my brain short circuits.
yeah.
And it's really cool.
Honestly, it is really cool because I feel like it's became like a lost art, like using coils and rotaries and stuff.
Mhm.
And it quite literally goes back to Edison's it was his electric pen.
The electric pen, the
And-
autoscribe.
But on that, it was actually the very first one was by Wagner. It was O'Reilly. O'Reilly was the one that had created the rotary, and that was the first one before coils. And Wagner was the one that had created the coil. Both of them off of the concept of Edison's electric pen.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the beginning of 1900s at the very end of 1800s. So, but yeah, it's been, I'm sure like there have been other forms of that were not documented, but as far
Right.
as the first patented
Well, that was Edison's
ideas, yeah.
way.
Yeah. I mean like
Paperwork is way to the top.
Yeah. Unless my name's on it.
But I mean, we see so many really cool concepts that have came out. Like, what was that? The Russian that, what was his name? I keep wanting to say FK Irons. It's not.
Okay.
But they basically are like on par. They're a little bit more, I feel, polished version of the Dan Cuban.
Mm.
So, and they have like different settings on it and stuff, and you can set your stroke level like with just adjusting a certain
On a coil?
no,
Is it this
it's
one?
a hybrid.
Oh, okay.
So basically like they have a pen version of it now, and it is gotten a lot cooler with these machines. And what's interesting is that the way that they hit they come down, it's like a frequency, and it hits certain ways, and then I can only draw it out for you, but it does impact the skin. It's basically the length of time that is in the skin. It's the workload pretty much. The time between the armature bar that hits when it hits the spring, and that would be the workload, and when it's like in the skin. So but in any case though, like I was telling one of my coworkers here that the amount of adjustments that you have with these machines when it comes to coils in particular, you can really really fine tune how you want your machine to work. And people forget this is this machine is like a brush. You can trim it down, you can form it to do certain techniques that you want it to do. It's at your is basically like, you it's an art form to be able to adjust all the things. And it doesn't even stop there. You can even adjust your needles as well to be able to act a certain way. And I feel like when we had gone to pins and cartridges is basically now you are stuck having to conform to just that. And I do get at times very frustrated with the cartridges. I know that, like, especially like with the finer round the liners, that they just wobble. They wobble a lot. And in comparison to like when you're using coil, you can bend your needle to stay within the groove. Like for a diamond tube, you keep it stays there no matter what. But for like just cartridges, it just wobbles all over the place. Especially the smaller you get, you have to be a lot more careful with that kind of stuff. And then, it's it definitely feels different as it's running. And it kind of loses its personality in a way, because I feel like the machine, the coil machines, and mostly coil machines, do have a personality of their own. And because you tune it certain ways, you can make it run certain ways. It's definitely an experience for sure. The only problem and downside is that it takes forever to set up. So
So what did you learn on? Did you initially learn on coil?
Yeah. I was so in my apprenticeship, I was I was taught to make my own machine and my own needles before I could tattoo. So I initially didn't get to touch skin for about a year, a little over a year. And so I went from there. I had to make 50 of each types of needles. And this is after the crappy ones. So I had to make 50 good ones. And then but yeah, the interesting part is I kind of wish.
I think there's like a gray area between good and bad needles, because when you build your own, you're building them to spec how you think that they would work best for you.
But there's probably some bad ones at the beginning, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, because
they just come
apart.
A
lot of that is just based on how you solder it. Like you can solder it down too far and the solder go up, and then when you go to run it, it's not collecting the ink, and it just spits it out.
Spits back out. Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, it's definitely a lost trade that a lot of people in today's tattooing business don't get to experience. And if they have, good for them, because when you have to go through that rigorous, here, let me take the needles off the bar, grind those down, and then let me get the jig out, let me get all my individual needles, let me get my soldering gun iron out, and you start building these things, and then you start testing these, you are gonna, I mean, there are times that you will get maybe 3 or 4 out of those batches that are just not good
Mhm.
needles, so you end up taking
Yeah.
them back off, and you have to redo them. And
Well, I got really good at making needles.
yeah,
To
you-
me, it feels like the difference between like my grandpa who grew up, waking up before dawn, going out to milk the cow that he has to feed, bringing the milk back, versus me just being able to grab a carton out of the fridge and
Mhm.
all I have to keep track of is when I'm running low, which I can go pick up more at the grocery store
Right.
at the drop of a hat. So having respect from where that industry comes from and the work that goes in behind it, because someone's still doing that work, I'm just not seeing it.
no,
And so, what do you guys feel like in terms of how apprentices have changed? If that's something that really should be there, or if maybe it's good but it doesn't have to be there. What's your thoughts on that?
I definitely feel like it should be there. Like there is a definite respect when you do it, and then there are also things that you look out for when you like open up your cartridge and you're inspecting your needles. Is like, does everyone inspect like every single needle that comes out of
No.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
but,
I
like,
do. I have a
yeah.
routine for it, but
Yeah.
there's definitely something to be said about knowing exactly, like, if I were to make this, I wouldn't have made it like that, or
Yeah.
that looks different than the last one. Knowing what you're looking at is extremely valuable for sure.
Yeah, because like there was some of the the scare moments was if you didn't have decent like eyesight, and
you had
if
to
you're
use an eye loupe
use an eye
or
loop, but
magnifying glass to
With your
look,
monocles.
Yeah.
to look at the needles.
Ben Franklin it, you have the little things that come.
but there was
Or heaven forbid that you get one of the needles spun around.
I did
Oh,
just
my
recently.
God.
Right.
It was one of my cartridges that I was using, and because me inspecting it, I saw one was flipped, and I was like, okay, well, that's why we check, But
I didn't know needles could be flipped.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they're not
literally
sharp on
yeah,
both
no,
ends.
they're not. Yeah,
No, they're
Wait,
not.
wait. It's not flipped this way. You're saying it's flipped this way?
Like, okay, so sharp end up here,
Yeah.
dull end down here. You take
Yeah.
the dull end, flip
Mhm.
it around.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so then when the needles are built, you've got 4 sharp ones up top, and then you've got
You got
5
4
down bottom,
flat.
and one of those is flipped around.
Mhm.
So now you've got a dull needle that's sitting in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
So, yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why it's like that.
Yep.
That's definitely one thing that you needed to look out for when you were building your needles, was making sure all of your needles were like
Yeah.
facing the same direction. Because that's a painful thing to have to
I
go through.
I feel like I would have noticed it because I look at them, but it never
Right.
would have occurred to me because I haven't built them. And so I had as I've talked about before, massive gaps in my education.
Mhm.
So much respect for the fact, I don't like it in apprenticeship where they're just taking advantage of you and not letting you touch skin for years. But the fact that you are actually learning things for a year before you touch skin,
Mhm.
legitimately learning things, and you were being guided in that process, that's amazing. I was in skin on week 2 and should not have been, and it was horrible. And so I was tearing up skin. And so if I would have been taught, I don't know, literally anything about needles other than the fact that they come in different sizes,
Mhm.
that would have been cool.
So the very, very, very first part of the apprenticeship was me cleaning tools,
Mm-hmm.
and which was a very important thing for sure, was to make sure absolutely everything was spotless. Now my mentor was also a prior EMT, so he was very super super clean about his entire shop. And so the clean station that we had was a 3-part clean station. So we had the soaking area, where we had a solution where all the stuff would basically sit, and that's including all the piercing equipment and also the tubes, and then we had a separate one for needles. We the needles, though, the only thing that we reused on the needles was the bar itself, because we could just we would clean it, put it through the Alkanox. So in the sink, we would brush them out. As same thing for the tubes and all the piercing equipment. clean it off with Alkanox, and then after that we gave it a sonic cleaner bath, and then from there we would put it through the autoclave, and then after that we would just solder off the needles and then just reuse the bars. So, but then after that we would go through the whole process all over again with the clean brand new needles. We would go through the whole process all over again. So everything was extra clean. Yeah. But I did that for quite a while.
When you transitioned from like when you first started tattooing, you were already, you know, an artist. You always knew that art was going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was part of your attraction to tattooing like your engineering kind of machinist kind of brain, being able to make?
Like I honestly had decided that one drunk night.
Okay.
Is Courtney's fault? Do we need to thank Courtney?
I think we should thank Courtney.
Thanks, Courtney,
Okay.
for whatever it is that you did.
So
I hope you're well.
But I think this was during COVID, and so I was like, so I had the one tattooed at this same shop that I had learned how to tattoo. So coming around full circle after so many years, and I had hung out at this tattoo shop, and it wasn't even like a thought in my mind to be an apprentice here. I was helping out my ex at the time, because it was actually my tattoo artist. I was dating him. So we had like been dating for like about a year, and I was like always hanging out there. I was drawing with them and whatnot, and so I knew the owner, which became my mentor so many years later. But that evening that I had decided, I think I'm just gonna send over a message to Jake and see what's going on, you know, and see if I can maybe get an apprenticeship with him. And so I sent it over, and I was like, yeah, and he was like, I remember you. Yeah, why don't you just come over to the shop and bring your portfolio? And that's when we discussed it, and we were on board. So I was like, you know, and I think about it now, and I cannot believe how crazy the opportunity was. Like in comparison to like everyone else's experience, I feel like what I had got was something very, very special, and I am absolutely appreciative for everything that he taught, and like don't ever like put it down, like,
right.
That
you've always spoke of him like
take
in
for
your
granted.
experience. You've
Yeah.
always made it very clear.
And what
like,
was your mentor's name?
It was Jake Doyle
Jake Doyle.
Yeah.
Where's the shop at?
in Loveland, Colorado.
What's
But
it called?
it was called NoCo.
NoCo in Loveland.
NoCo Studio.
Yeah. No, you always spoke of him very highly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a good, funny dude.
Yeah.
So now that you've been doing it for a while, what are your favorite styles and your favorite machines to work with?
I still love my Dan Cuban, regardless. It does not like plastic tubing at all. So I'm just trying to like finagle my way into using my steel tubes at some point.
I remember when Dan Cuban was just starting out making machines
Mhm.
Yeah.
and introducing them.
Like even before I was tattooing, I knew about them.
They were floating through. That's when I was in Sedalia, and they were floating through there, and
Yeah.
just to look at them was mind-boggling because they were just this teeny tiny little thing,
Right.
Mhm.
and you're just like, how are you going to get the power out of this to do what you need to do?
I don't know how he does it, but they're amazing
But
machines.
it was crazy because I remember Judy, I believe that she did put out the book, but she was writing a book on machines, like the evolution of machines and new ones that were coming out. And I remember messaging her and telling her, you need to check these machines out because holy cow, this is a game changer. And I've seen numerous people use them, but then again, that you look at that aspect of this, your setup, because it was, again, you still had to use tubes and grips and, stainless steel stuff and needles on bars. And so then when you would go and do a piece, you had 5 different machines set up because you couldn't just interchange what you needed to.
Yeah.
So
everyone at the shop used Dan Cubans. And
that's crazy.
And so like it was a whole shop that used hybrid coil machines, and so like our clean station was being used at all times, and so his favorites were the Dan Cuban and Victor Portugal, and he had an array of Victor Portugal ones, and they were all signed and stuff, but those were his pride and joy. So
no, and I mean, I'm also in the camp where I walked in at a time where technology had moved on, but like it's interesting because even though so many coil lovers use regular rotary machines now, the convenience seems to outweigh just the inconvenience of the setup and having the array. But there's always that, like, it's cool to talk to like you and to David about like, oh man, like there's just things about it that you have to try. You just have to experience it.
It is an experience.
And I mean, I love the way they look. I would love to collect rotary machines or like coil machines just because they look cool. And whenever I had my apprenticeship, I had daydreams about that moment where my mentor would walk up like Jedi Master style and be like, when you can assemble your lightsaber, you're a master. And I never got that. And I mean, and I always saw,
and the thing
I watched.
was that you weren't ever going to continue to use it. It was almost kind of pointless.
Well, and I get it. Like, and I understand
if
that.
If I was going to make you build a machine, I'm going to make you use it.
Right.
Because building it is one thing. To sit there and hook it up and tune it and go, now you got to set it up.
Put the battery in. Turn it on.
Make your depth, do your stencil. And not only are you going to just line it, but you've got to put together your shader too.
Right.
And now you've got a mag needle that you got to use and a round shader that you got to use, and you got to change those out.
Right.
And do a full on tattoo. And
when that process came,
don't.
But when you're doing like little flash walk-ins or something, that would be a detriment. It makes so much more sense to be using the pin on small pieces when you're going to be doing multiple things a day. But I can see how if you're like,
back then, there was no such thing as, hey, let's do this Friday the 13th flash deal.
Right.
Let's say, like, we didn't do those things. We just had our clients that came in and we just did those things.
But if you were spending a whole day on tribal or something where you're going to have to be packing it in, that's when, to me, it would make more sense to like, let's set up this whole thing. Let's get it all going.
Yeah, you're fine.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Well, but
I got really fast at breaking down and or tearing down and setting up with those machines, and also too, it does force you to think a lot more conservative of your setup.
Right.
So like, for instance, like we have the ability to just pick whatever needles we want for cartridges and be like, I'm going to have 5 different needles for this, but then like when it comes to like your machines, and now you're thinking, well, this one does these lines really well. This one does the shading really well too. And I'm going to do my color with this one here. So now you got 3 machines that you have to work with instead of 5. And then you have to pick the best needle grouping for that job.
Meanwhile, I have cartridges up on a row, and it's like, I'll have this out so I can grab it if I need it without having to take my gloves off.
Yeah.
Knowing that the moment I touch it, it's done.
It's done, yeah.
But like, I have it up here, so I'm just like, all right. And then I realize, oh, I didn't have to use 2 of these. That's cool. Yeah, and that's just like, or I touch it and be like, oh shit, I meant to grab the other one. Well.
So you find a way to use it.
Yeah. I lost $1.50 maybe.
Right. I have my library of just in case needles where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to need those, so they're going to stay in the clean zone. But they're my emotional support just in case needles if I want something skinnier.
No, there's a lot to, the coil thing that, and I think a lot of people, the experience of it and the history behind it. I think there's always going to be a part of my brain that's also like, and a lot of it is talking to you two has always been inspiring me to mess with it. Meanwhile, there's others that are basically trying to convince me to go back to a manual transmission. Like, it's overrated. Like the way they describe it. Like you're like telling me I have to learn cursive again. I mean, I know cursive, but like it's overrated. You guys are just being ridiculous. Like it seems like a lot. But then to have people like you two, like no, there's and I mean, I'm sure that they would absolutely agree with you. They just don't explain it that way.
There's definite pros and cons for sure.
Yeah.
Like it does take a lot longer to have to like set up and get everything prepared, and then having to have multiple machines. And yes, it
Right.
costs more. In the long run, it actually saves you. So like I feel that, like, for instance, if you get a box of needles that just expired, you can take those and just re-autoclave them. That, like, I've got a bunch that have expired that are just kind of sitting and waiting, but I can just package them and just reuse them, you know? They have to go through the autoclave, but yeah, I mean,
Sure.
but you can't do that though with like the plastic ones, like with the cartridges.
Right.
Mhm.
And so
That
like,
makes sense.
and you could just sit at home, make a ton of needles, and then bring them home, bring them back, and then clean them, and then have a whole like thousands of needles to your like disposal, you know, for maybe
I don't know
$100,
how many
you know?
packaged needles I got rid of once I switched to a pen and cartridges. Like
Yeah.
just bags and
Yeah.
bags of needles. It's just, I mean, it's crazy.
What was it like doing conventions, knowing that you had very limited amount of space to like travel with, and then baggage, and then also
It was the same.
space?
It's the same scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, you had like 5
not-
machines that you had to, you know.
So when we had went, I didn't tattoo there, but one of my coworkers and actually it was Kelsey, Toby, and Jake that had went, and of course, you know, all of them had used rotaries and their dang Cubans, but they were able to do it just fine. I had got also into the habit of having it as a backup. So to bring my power supply, bring my pedal just in case. So I just have that in the back of my mind, and all it is just an extra, you know, like an extra spot in my luggage that I keep. But in all honesty, it's the same. I feel like it's not that bad of a ordeal to have to like bring, you know, like cables with you. But he was able to just do just fine.
I mean, I'm the guy that hauls this stuff around everywhere. So the cables are awful.
Yeah, you don't even have to put plastic tubes on all the cables for our microphones. This is
You're
way
right.
worse.
You're right.
Yeah. But I mean, like, when I know they had their own clients that they were working with at the time when we went to Villain Arts, but I just don't know how, like, I honestly don't know how some of the artists that I have seen travel to different countries so lightly.
Right.
That's what I don't get, is like they literally can compact all of their stuff in one bag, and like I'm thinking to myself, I have to use like one of those makeup luggages to be able to bring all of my stuff.
Yeah.
But like even then, like in comparison to some other people, they bring like huge cases with them, and I'm like, I guess I'm doing okay for myself.
Well, you see, like early episodes, like for like anybody who watches like the Ink Master series or whatever, you know, and it took several seasons before you started seeing like people trickling in with rotary machines, like pen machines.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for the first few seasons alone, and you know, anytime somebody was like, you know, pack up your machines and leave, like they literally had a collection. And I remember there was like one artist that was trying to defend their artwork because they didn't have a certain setup to do it the way they figured that he should. And he defended himself. He's like, well, I don't have all this stuff. I only got like one machine. and like they like burned him down. They're just like right there, like, guys, I don't even leave the house with any less than 5 machines.
Yeah.
Like they're just, I was like, my goodness. And this was maybe season 2, season 3, so it wasn't, like too
Yeah.
awful long ago. Like it was, so it was it's always an interesting like learn like day-to-day life, especially artists that are on the road all the time and fly all the time, like how much they strip down their supplies, knowing that they have a very intricate setup with very specific
Yeah.
pieces to use their machine,
Yeah.
instead of just throwing a pen in their back pocket and a box of cartridges in their bag.
That is like the beauty behind using pen and cartridges, is just the ability to move, very lightly and go, and not have to be frisked down for a big giant box that you're bringing on the airplane. It's like, oh yeah, what's in the big black box? Well, it vibrates.
Well, so this leads me, knowing that the hardware that you learned on, and I thought I was pretty fine line, because that's just what people asked of me. Using like 10 3-liners and 3-liners and whatnot for like, that's mostly what I learned on. Again, my apprenticeship, I didn't realize that there was too much bigger than that, because my mentor was like he did like individual like animal hairs, like realism kind of stuff. So he always had like really tiny things. So then we met you, where it's it is fine line. Like so knowing that you come from like a coil setup that is notorious for having more of a range to play with, more fine tuning and everything, but also like there's nothing that hits as hard as a coil.
You're right. Yeah.
For you to see, to go like, oh man, she's got she's a machinist with the machinist hands, and then to see the work so dainty, very extremely fine, very very meticulous, and very
precision
right,
is the word I would use. I've never seen precision like your precision, to the point that like if I saw your pictures online not knowing you, I would question whether they were real. Like
they are extremely fine, very precise.
Yeah.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of different things, because I used a lot of micro mechanical pencils and stuff for a lot of my work, and I don't know, I just kind of gravitated to like really tiny, like super tiny details in my drawings. And then on top of that, when I was a machinist, we had worked with like 1/10 of an inch stuff, and so it was like really really small stuff. And so a lot of it had to do with high precision stuff, and I think that all of that translated into tattooing, which is crazy, because like how like life kind of like pushes you into that direction. And then one drunk night you had that, oh, I should become a tattooist.
Well, and I'm curious, is like, and this is a personal question, but like, you see a lot of activity online about like fine line artists, and you know where I'm going with this already. But it's like,
how's it gonna look in 5 years?
You're right. Like, and it's one of those things. It's one of those styles that a lot of people are either expecting to touch up a few times.
I mean, you're not wrong. There are big misconceptions about fine line, and the idea is that, here's the thing, is that any artist can do line work. However, to do it properly, to do fine line properly, is a completely different situation. Like, we all do line work. We do line work and then we do like the filling and packing if we need to, and whatnot. But the fine line, I feel like, is a technique that is it's a balance. It's a balancing act between becoming too saturated and then becoming too light, where it fades away. And then, I mean, the idea for fine line is that it is supposed to ghost. from what I have noticed in a lot of different fine line pieces, it is meant to ghost. The other, what you see a lot is when people post images of fine line and it just looks like a blobbing mess after so many years. That's because they didn't keep their balance of ink, like the saturation, lower. It needs to be a little bit more diluted.
As I say, you do a lot of your work not in full black, but like
No, I don't.
like a dark, like a range of gray wash almost.
It's a dark gray wash,
Yeah.
pretty much. And I had, so it does become a experimenting act as well, because in the very beginning I did all of it with solid ink, because I mean that's what I was taught, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's just straight ink is straight ink, and you know that's what typically what most artists do. But to actually get into fine line, and I saw this in a couple tattoos I have done, and I realized the huge difference after it's healed and after a year of it being healed in comparison to one other one that looks exactly like it. It does make a huge difference in diluting your ink. I had one that I had done on this individual. It was a design on her arm that was done in saturated ink, and it was all line work. And then we did the other one. This was after I started experimenting and changing my technique, and I did it thinking that I had done it the same way on this other one. After it healed, and she was not upset with it or anything, she just said, I really, really noticed the difference in this one arm in comparison to the other arm. This one's like a lot thinner than this other one. And I had used the same setup and everything. I just did the dilution to the ink. And after I saw it in person, and I was like, okay, well, that definitely translates for sure. That is what, after doing some research and finding some other artists that have actually been doing the same technique, I had experimented with it and found that it definitely makes a difference for sure.
Do you have clients that when it's healed, it's you know, a lot of people are really impressed, but like, do you have any clients that have unexpectedly like wow, this is actually a lot lighter than I anticipated?
Yeah.
Like, I know I asked for fine line, but this is like really light.
Yeah, like and everyone, I will always say, like, everyone heals so differently. I've had people that when I put it in, it stays that dark in them permanently, and it doesn't lighten. And then I got other ones that after it heals, it's almost gone. But it's entirely dependent on how they take care of it. Sure. I have one client that literally takes a shower every day in steaming hot water, and I'm like, I honestly would love to do that too, but it would ruin my hair.
Oh, well, you don't have to you don't have to wash your hair every time.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it is just based on how people manage their tattoos after it's healed, and also just their body type too.
I imagine you would need here's general tattoo upkeep. Here's my tattoo upkeep. Yeah. These are you've crossed a threshold by doing this style. You need this other set of extras.
Yeah, I kind of feel like these tattoos that I do heal up within about a week, 2 weeks. They heal super, super fast. Right. And but usually I do have to explain to people, when they get these tattoos, that it's not supposed to be super saturated, and it's not supposed to look like ultra dark, because that is what you're trying to avoid is it becoming so dark that it starts growing. And so
And that's the reason for your gray wash, right? Like
Yeah.
it's to make sure that the saturation is there as you need it. Like
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
but it doesn't look visually as
Yeah, bold tattoos are great,
Right.
but you're not getting bold and super
Right.
micro fine line. Like pick one.
yeah, you're going to have to pick
But
one.
with that, excuse me, with that you can build.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right,
because
you just
gray
kinda keep
washes
adding to it
are
until you-
all,
yeah.
all about building.
That's one I've
and
seen
layering.
you do that I have tried to apply, and I'm trying to apply it more, is I see you go in a little bit more conservatively with how much ink you're saturating in. Wait until your stencil's completely gone, either on the day of or the next session, and then go back and selectively darken where you want to darken
Right.
when you
Yep.
don't have, because it's so hard
even I do
to do
that
a
now,
crispy,
yeah.
clean, fine tattoo where you have all this purple in the way and you can't really see what you're doing, and you got to match things up to this level of
Mhm.
precision when you're talking like, 16ths, 30 seconds of an inch or whatever. But
Something that I know that you also have recently made a post online that I wanted to bring up, and I meant
Mhm.
to tell you this in person, but we're
Mhm.
going to make it public
Okay.
because I really admire what you said and the fact that you did it. And I mean, you made it look like a cool like flyer poster too. So, but like you made a public statement that for your like that you're drawing a line, like you are capable of doing a lot of things. I mean, you are a fine line artist for sure, and black and gray artist for sure. But you've done a handful of things for different clients, and you
Mhm.
finally made a choice. Like, okay, this is where I'm comfortable in.
Yes.
Like, yes, I can do anything you want, but like for the sake of my own mental health and my own sanity
yeah.
and just the stress of it, like this is what I know, this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to do.
yeah.
And you made a public statement very respectfully, and the response was very positive.
Yeah. And I feel that all artists should be able to go in that route. Like after understanding the concept, like one should also like just be able to understand how to color, how to line, how to pack, how to, shade,
Mhm.
and find your niche. Like find your niche and then start moving towards it.
Right.
Because, yeah, we can be able to do pretty much anything. However, we just aren't jack of all trade, or
Right.
and usually when it comes to that, you're about 50 here, 50 here,
Right.
50 here, but you want to be 100%. So why not be 100% in a niche that you love and
Right.
enjoy? Like when I go home and I draw, I'm not drawing like comic book stuff.
You draw like you tattoo.
Like I just want, I want to do like high
Yep.
detailed stuff. And
I'm
just
jealous. I don't. Which is weird. Like, and I say, and when I read this, it hit in a time where I was not mentally okay. Like I was struggling for a few days, and it was just one of those things where it's like I was beating myself up because it's like I have always been the blue collar jack of all trades artist.
Mhm.
I did not become an artist because I have this beautiful vision that I need to share with the world. I have nothing profound. I develop my skills as a set
Mhm.
of skills that people can find value in, that I can help. It's a service.
Mhm.
And that's just, I just wanted to be useful. That was
Mhm.
just the only thing I was good at. So for me, like, I just feel obligated to be good at everything. And I can say that, like, overall, so far, so good. But I have definitely come to a point where I realize, like, some things I just don't like doing.
Does it feel like, because at that point, I will have to say, because I have a friend back in Colorado that is also a jack of all trades, and he's not an artist, but he definitely does do a lot of stuff. The one thing that I can definitely tell in him is that I feel that he really wants to have something a little bit more focused.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like ingrained in all of us, is to have something that is focused and that you could put more of your time and effort in, and it then becomes something that is more purposeful for you.
It's like throwing darts.
Yeah.
For me, like when, in all the art industries that I was a part of before tattooing and all the publishing that, we've done in Kaiju, everything has been a dart. Like, maybe this is me. Is this me?
Yeah.
Maybe this is me. This is me. And it's like, and I just end up with a pile of darts. And it's like, I am not jealous of your skills. I know exactly what you did to develop those skills. I'm not jealous of anybody else's like art or the process of how they got there or their success. Everybody got there for their own way. What I'm jealous of is that one thing they're like, oh no, this is me. Like, I identify with this. I'm going to throw all of my passion into this one thing. And it makes me feel like I don't care. Like, I feel like I'm just like, I mean, I like tattooing. But I like the interaction of like, I'm providing something to another person that is meaningful to them.
Honestly, I'm kind of jealous of the whole kaiju thing. I definitely feel like that is a huge thing that you have. And it's amazing the amount of network that you have collected. And I feel like that is something to aspire to. Like, even Aiden, like my son, he aspires to that. And so, like, I think, like, when people look outside and see who you are as an individual, like, you're definitely one to aspire to. And I myself feel just a tad jealous.
No, I mean, it just things. I get to hang out, like me and the other founders. I get to hang out with a lot of people that inspire a lot of people in different ways, and it's like, after all their experience, like, in the end, your work only speaks for so much. As much as I spent my entire art life thinking, well, if I'll be popular, it'll take off when I'm good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that didn't take off. Well, it must be because I'm not good enough. And then spending all my time just getting good at something versus like actually talking to people and communicating. Like, I'm surrounded by people that I think are leagues above me. And that includes here in the studio. And to be able to like be surrounded by them by osmosis, I learn a lot. Mm-hmm. And I also like, there's something, I have a pride in talking about you guys. Mm-hmm. That's why the podcast actually happens, is because I just get to spend an hour celebrating people that I think are just really cool. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I will never develop your skills. I could if I mean, I have the chops to do a lot of things that you guys do, but not like you guys do. It's
well, you won't ever develop the same technique.
It's
you can take bits and pieces and apply it to what you already know,
right,
as a part of what you do, but it'll never be exact. I mean,
I'm just really glad to be able to be proud of so many people, and and I'm really happy for you. When you joined us, I mean, you had a pretty interesting story and different experiences that led you to us.
I'm happy, because then that just means I don't have to do fine lines.
Yeah.
Kaila, thanks so much for joining us today. We get to see you every day, but it's cool to see you on the podcast too. Yeah. So where can our listeners find you on social media?
So you can find me at Kaila Machado on Facebook. You can also find me at KOTrollism on Instagram. And I have kailamachado.com. So, of course, I got to spell it out for you. So it's KAILAMACHADO. For both my first and last name. And then the KOTrollism is CHAOTROLISM. So
we'll probably put it on the screen too.
Yeah.
But using your full name instead of a moniker, that's something that we talked about.
I have tried. I have thought about maybe changing it.
See, you work so hard to give me some weird name.
You have
all day long.
You have 3. You just haven't chosen
all day long.
I did all the work.
You can find one for her. Like, she was her first and last name. You just come up with some.
Yeah. We gave him a lot of trouble.
What's your DJ name?
What's my DJ name?
DJ Machete.
Like,
Chado.
I can't use DJ Scribbles because that's been used.
That's why I like DJ Jazzy Tats.
DJ Scribbles is taken. We can all just go home. That's the rules.
Like, I will
get
sued over that.
Yeah, I get sued over that. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. And everybody should go check you out on social media and see your wicked fine line.
Or said they can find her on Cryptic.
Oh, yeah.
Or on the
cryptictattoogallery.com.
Yep.
Very cool. You did it. Congratulations.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, bye.